This is the wild rice that we've gathered in about a half hour. Dad, tell me about the device you're using to push the boat.
This is a push pole. This is made out of 1.25 inch closet rod. It's a piece of pine that's about 14 feet long. And I'm using it to propel us through the rice beds. There's a metal piece on it. It's called a duckbill. And we put that in the water, snag it up on some wild rice stalks, and then gently walk the pole. And while we're doing that, you've been knocking the rice with those cedar ricing sticks. So that's what this tool is. We used to use a tamarack pole. We made it by gathering it in the woods, and we put a diamond willow or a maple crotch on the end of it and spliced it together. Those old ways will still work, but we're getting kind of high tech now. We've even got some duct tape wrapped around this to give us some traction.
Okay. So it feels pretty good to be out here. I mean, you come out here every year. Why do you have a rice camp every year?
Well, we have a rice camp to keep the tradition alive. We learned to rice from Joe Ackley over at Mole Lake. We had a rice camp together back in the late 80s and early 90s. In fact, we had a rice camp the year that you were born in 1990. So being out here, I remember Joe Ackley. His Indian name was Medewiash. The wind in the pines. And every time I hear the wind in the pines out here, I think about him. I love being on this water because there's no development. When you go to Eagle River, it's hard on the eyes and hard on the ears. But when you get out in this country, it's wild yet, like the Creator intended it to be. And we're harvesting the food that grows on water, the wild rice.
What's the indigenous name for wild rice?
Monoman, good berry.
And how does it feel to be out here? You know, we come out here every day for about a week. We get sunburned. You know, we get bit.
Well, it's good to be out here because we're in the wind, we're in the water. We don't have contact with computers for, well, once in a while we go to the library and check up on our Facebook. But we get back in some ancient rhythms. Poling the canoe, paddling, knocking rice. And then we have a camp over on Franklin Lake. We've got a canvas wall tent set up there. We've got several people who are part of that camp. We caught a smallmouth bass the other day and we baked it over the fire in a Dutch oven. We stuffed it with wild rice and tomatoes, garlic, butter, a little celery. And then at night we had some s'mores.
So that's your favorite meal at camp, right? S'mores and what, fresh fish?
Fresh fish and s'mores and a little nettle tea. That's what I like.
This is Bart Vander Puy on a wild rice bed in northern Wisconsin with my father, Nick Vander Puy, for IndianCountryTV.com.